Hey guys, it's Will Krisky here. We're going to talk about Satin Doll, the arrangement for chord melody guitar that I've done. So hopefully you've downloaded the song. It's at chordmelody.ca. There's a free chord melody lesson, so you can basically provide your name and email address and you'll be able to get the arrangement that goes with this video. So if you don't have it, make sure you get the Satin Doll PDF file and have it printed off. It's 2 pages. It just makes it easier than trying to scroll on the screen and watch me play it on the video at the same time. So if you've never played jazz before, you're free to go through this. The chords that I've come up with are fairly standard, basic chords that everybody learns when they learn jazz. If you've already, ideally you've already learned the chords, so you're not really struggling with the chording themselves. You just have to figure out, just be able to play the song and switch chords and add the melody note. So I've used the basic chords that come with the chord progression that came with the standard. There's a great site called songtrellis.com, and they have a whole bunch of songs in there with the chords to the song. So that was the basis of what I did. So let's look at the first measure. We've got this melody, so A, G, A, G, A. So I recommend, we're just going to learn this piece, but when I create these chord melodies, I know the notes, I know where A and G is on different string, and I know a variety of chord diagrams, a bunch of different chord voicings. So okay, there's an A here, I'll play the D minor drop 2 voicing. There's another D minor shape with an A on the high string. But I chose to go up here. So the idea is that you play the D minor chord, D minor 7, with the A and the high melody, and then you fret the G on the 12th fret, 3rd string. And so you let the chord ring. The next chord is a G13. Now, that one is just with a bar on the 8th fret on the middle 4 strings, or the bottom 5 strings basically. And you just see how easy it is to just add your pinky. So you're playing the G and then the A. So if we looked at the original, if we look at a G7, voicing, and you may not know these, but if I do this voicing, it has a G in the high melody note, but really I can't get the A now. I can't move this ring finger up to the, I can't do that. It's impossible. So what I did was I just raised the D, which is the 5th of G7, up to the E. All of a sudden, now I can add my pinky. So this is the kind of work you have to do when you're creating these chord melodies. Now, if you're new to jazz, you might get hung up on G13 and sharp 5 and augmented and sharp 11 and all that kind of stuff. But a lot of times the name of the chord is just a result of the chord you picked plus the melody. So if I was showing you that G7 chord, if I actually go, okay, now I'm going to play it with the A in the melody, I would say, well, that's a G9 chord because the A is a 9th of G7. But it's just because you played a G7 and you're playing, it happened to be playing an A melody note, so it just magically becomes a G9. The fact that I raised this D up to an E to make it sounds good, but it's also easier to play, makes it a G9 just because I have an E in there. So don't really get I don't want you to get hung up on the names of the chords that are a result of the melody on the chord or some adjustments that I made in order to make the chords easier to play. So those first 2 measures would be like this. that's the first two measures, basically the same thing. Now, what you might have noticed was once you're able to go I'll do things to embellish it. So you can do a short, you can cut it off like that, or let it ring. And then instead of just playing the whole chord, you can go play the bottom bass. So I went. So you see, even with the basic arrangement, you can start to add some more emotion, some more interest to it. The other thing you can do is slide into the D minor 7. So I don't do it on the first one, I go like this. So I just went down from the 9th fret C sharp up to D. And that's just the bass note, and then hit the other notes of the D minor 7. So we can take a basic arrangement. Okay, so those are the first two measures. Now, the next two measures is exactly the same, it's just up 2 frets. So we're up to E minor 7 to A7. So that's a 2-5 progression. Okay, so that's exactly the same as the first two, just shifted up 2 frets. And then in measure 5, so we've got fret measures here, you'll see a number above the measure in the arrangement. Every 4 measures, I guess. So basically, now we're at A minor 7 in the original chord. So I want to get an A minor 7 with a D in the upper. So we've got, if you know your chord shapes, you can, you can find different places. But I find that this one here, it's really hard for me to flatten my middle finger if I want to keep everything ringing. So what I did was I used this one up on the 12th fret. So basically, I just play the A minor 7 shape, which is this one, 12th fret, add my pinky, and then when I go to play the C, I play a D7. Now this is a standard chord shape as well. A lot of times you'll just have the A on the second string, but I had the pinky. And you can let that ring and play the high D. So it's A minor 7, A minor 11 with the D in the melody. Now the next one is an A flat minor to D flat 7, so it's a 2-5 in the key of G flat. Because there's a B flat in the melody over top of an A, that's an actual 9th chord, minor 9th. So here we go like this. So you might find an A flat, that's a typical A flat minor 7. You can have this one. It has the A flat in the melody, but we want to go up to a B flat. So that's where this chord comes in. So that's part of the trick of these chord melodies, is just finding chords that work with the melody, places you can play it easily. So there's A flat minor 9, and then D flat 7, standard shape. Now we add the B flat to it. So that's technically, at that point, is a D flat 13 chord. And then the G, standard C major 7. Now here's an interesting thing. I've actually decided to add some chords. In the original, you'll just see C major 7 for 2 measures. So that's 8 beats of just C major 7. So I could have just went. So if you want to do that, that's fine. But to add a little bit of motion, I decided to add some chords.